right, so day 2 of left hand drawing, whilst being a person who is right handed. So there are definitely some observations I made today, and I feel like a lot of those things were able to be exposed with me using a brush pen, since a brush pen is basically like all about control and like the amount of pressure you put on it can affect like the lines and stuff like that. A lot was exposed with, I guess, like the weaknesses of my left hand, right? So it was very shaky. Things were pretty shaky, of course, and it definitely took longer to bring out these sketches because it was like I was trying to focus so hard on making sure whatever details were properly accommodated. And there are definitely like a lot of lines, like looking at the at me drawing and then looking at the drawings in front of me right here. Like there's definitely a lot of lines that I didn't want to be as thick as they are, which kind of do just make it look more flat. And that's just gonna happen because it was kind of like, for whatever reason, I couldn't really like perceive distance that well with my left hand. Like when I wanted to have light strokes and I wanted to be farther away from the paper, I was right on the paper and I was making these like really thick lines. I'm like, oh no, oh man. But yeah, and then that's kind of like the big beautiful thing a bit, I guess, about brush pen. You can't erase it, right? Same thing with ink pens and whatnot. You can't erase it, so you just kind of have to deal with whatever mistakes and things like that you make and just readjust. Whatever whenever, right? So here I'm drawing faces and animal faces. I don't really draw animals like that often, so I just wanted to try that with my left hand. And then here I am also drawing faces like how I usually draw faces. One thing that I observed is kind of like, how do I position myself in a way? It just feels very uncomfortable. Like, how do I position my hand? Where do I start? Like, do I go from right to left or left to right? When it comes to the drawing, like, do I start the drawing going from the right and then carry it on from the left? And, these might not be things that you might think about, but depending on which hand is your dominant hand, you might kind of draw in that way, right? But if you, like, let's say you write English, you write in English. English is written from left to right. And a friend of mine, he was left-handed, and when we would write with ink pens, he would write in his notebook and he would get ink on his hand because he was still writing from left to right, but he was left-handed, so he would be getting ink all over his hand. And I was just kind of like thinking of that as well. Like, am I going to get ink over my hand? Am I going to get charcoal on my hand because, I'm drawing like this, right? But I guess when I'm drawing, I don't have to go from left to right. I can probably try and do right to left, just to see, right? A lot of proportions were definitely off because, again, like I just didn't have that much control or that much distance. I also ended up having to switch up my setup, like here on the table. You'll see in a bit, I end up switching my iPad over to my right side, so that way I guess like I wouldn't be looking over my arm, and I don't know, it just would, I guess, feel more comfortable to do. And another thing was, like, again, like I said, pressure control, right, with a brush pen. So control of the pen. Brush pens, you need a lot of control in order to do nice, elegant, thin lines. And then you need to be able to just, I don't know, make it not look sloppy, make it not look sloppy. When you're using a brush pen, you want to have good control when making thick lines and thin lines. And like I said earlier, there's a lot of parts where I made thick lines when I didn't want to make thick lines, but that just ended up being the case. So I just have to see, like, what is it that I can adjust. And would that process have to be taking it even slower than as I am now, right? Like, maybe I feel like maybe I might be moving too fast, but maybe I should move a bit slower and just see how, I don't know, the process is going to come out, or how these drawings can come out. And then another thing too is not drawing from reference, right? So I've been drawing from reference, so these drawings I feel like are of better quality because I have something to work with, right? And I guess, I already have the skill of drawing on with reference, just kind of like honed in, right? With my left hand or with my right hand, sorry. So I just want to see, like, let's say if I'm not using reference and I'm drawing from my own imagination, and just to see like how can it work out, and then also trying different mediums, so painting, maybe sometime I can do painting, and then I can of course go back to a charcoal, but instead do a charcoal block, because that's going to be a lot more broad in sense of I can't be very precise, like how I would be with a charcoal pencil. And then of course also doing like ink pens, right? Using just regular big ink pens and seeing how that works. And then even with abstract art, just abstract creation, using a brush to do just with my left hand. And I don't know, man. I don't know, but one thing for sure is I did not expect these drawings to come out that good. I expected them to come out looking like complete garbage, and they came out pretty well. They look pretty good. And I like I said before, I think I said this in an earlier video, I just have the skill of drawing pretty like honed in, so it just allows for me to do this better. But then again, I'm not drawing in an environment where, let's say, things are moving around. Let's say I'm sitting at a park or something and I'm drawing people around me, or I'm on a bus, or I'm at an airport, and I were to draw people that are moving. Can I use my left hand with enough efficiency in order to, I guess, draw the poses and the people and the facial expressions within enough time before things change up around, right? So that would be an actual challenge that I would actually have to go and probably do on my own, and just see how how that works for me, or how I can manage that. And it's definitely fun trying to do like drawings, like just drawing random stuff in real life, especially when you don't have anything to do and you just want to develop the skill of drawing. So I just kind of want to take the same like mentality that I had beginning and even now when it comes to me doing art and focusing on art, and just be able to always be making something, always be drawing, even if it's from reference, and just practice, just over and over and over, getting the reps in, and just to see how much more I can improve with my left hand over the course of however many days, weeks, months even. And yeah, I'm just definitely looking forward to the progress. I probably said that in my last video. Also, if you're like a left-handed drawer, or if you're ambidextrous and you find that you're more comfortable drawing with your left hand, please let me know. I would like to just, I don't know, see your own experience and see like if you've ever tried to draw with your non-dominant hand and whatnot. But yeah, see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace out.